Since the sound didn't work from the very beginning, we are going to make a brief introduction again. Well, I think a really brief one, and maybe Fede will make it. I play a jingle at first.
Yeah, it's starting jingle,
so
please.
We're starting
you have a stinger?
Yeah.
No, I just.
Woo!
Oh my god, that was so cute.
That was right.
Hi everyone. Today we have special guests from AAA team, and today we have Troy, Jessica, and Chloe with us to discuss about Utopia projects and about AAA team in general. So yeah, we start our stream again. So.
But now it actually works.
Попытка, и я немножко introduce по-русски.
Julia, make some short introduction in Russian, and we are starting. Yeah.
Так точно. AAA международная команда, которая занимается разработкой небольших инди-игр коллективных. Раньше они назывались Art Games. Я думаю, это интересный факт для тех, кто захочет подумать над их названием, почему оно такое. В общем, команда международная, но базируется в Берлине, состоит из понаехавших туда ребят из разных стран. И я думаю, что они лучше нам сами кратко расскажут о команде и о проекте. Так ведь?
Так ведь.
У нас есть зрители. Кстати, если кто-то нас сейчас смотрит, вы можете задавать свои вопросы, конечно же, в чате. Мы передадим их ребятам. Задавайте их по-русски, по-английски, как хотите. Но ответ получите на английском.
Is watching us right now, please ask questions and we'll answer, and the guys will answer.
Okay.
Fede, lead us.
Okay. So guys, tell us about AAA team and about the name of AAA, and maybe about briefly about some past project we have done, and about first project, this Tropicana, and the second one, a data mutation, and then how it evolved to Utopia.
Well, I think you talk everything.
Very briefly.
That's the definition of a compound question, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna need like 3 hours to write an essay to answer that question. I have a 20-slide presentation that I give on this topic.
Tell us briefly in 10 seconds.
Okay. AAA is a collective that makes video games. We got the name from we stole the name from the term AAA, which is used in game industry to describe big budget games, which is like a ridiculous juxtaposition because we're a bunch of randoms. We started with Tropicana, which was our first project, which was 4 people. Then we made Data Mutations, which is kind of when we really started to I think find a voice and start to as a collective kind of get an identity, and now we're working on our third project now, which is Utopia, which we're here to talk about tonight. How's that?
Yes.
That was good.
So
that was pretty fast.
But more than 10 seconds.
Oh shit! I'll start again.
So we were asking you about how did the idea of Utopia emerged? How did you decide and why to make games about Utopia?
Does anyone else want to answer that?
I can try. You might want to fill in. Because I think maybe it kind of happened from a couple different conversations that were happening around the same time. Like, I think I remember the conversation starting, we were talking about Utopian Horizons, this podcast about utopias and, like, literature and film and stuff. And more or less we were talking on the Slack that the whole collective talks on about how, like, there aren't really any genuine representations of utopia in current media because it's, like, too hard, or people think it's, like, kind of a jokey joke thing. Like, there's lots of dystopias, like Blade Runner and stuff, but I don't remember any cool utopic visions happening in popular media lately, except for maybe Star Trek. And then even the latest Star Trek is kind of a military dystopia, which is disappointing. So it's like, where the heck are visions of utopic futures made by people making art now, really? So I guess also one of the things is that we felt like that maybe one of the reasons people have stopped making work about utopias or imagining utopias is because we're maybe in a cultural moment where everything seems so dark that we can't really imagine any alternative. Like, it's easier to imagine the world ending than it is to imagine us getting our shit together and solving a lot of problems that we have as a human race.
Mm.
And we didn't want to keep repeating that narrative. Also, this topic is really hard and maybe even impossible, and we're just ridiculous masochists over here.
Yeah, it's been a really for me personally, I didn't anticipate how difficult it is to work with this subject matter. Just like when you work on a project, like for example, I think the first two AAA projects, especially Dystopicana, like Dys is in the name, it was quite dystopian. Data Mutations was a mix. My project for Data Mutations was absolutely dystopian. And it's kind of been interesting trying to do a utopian project because you realize how much more vulnerable it makes you. Like, it's so easy to kind of cut things down. It's a lot harder to kind of earnestly, be like, this is a vision of reality that I think is, is better than the one we're in. And it's like, it's a much harder thing to do, I think, than to create a dystopian project.
In fact, when Julian Feder first told me about this project, Utopia, the first thing I thought was, wow, it's an inspiring topic. And the second thing I thought, no, it's a very hard thing to do. And I wanted to ask you, did you feel challenged by the topic? But you already answered this question. And how long have you been working on the project for the moment?
I don't even know anymore.
I mean, we started it like early last year, we didn't even really start actually till after AMAs, right?
Yeah, I guess we've been working on it for a year or something.
Yeah, it's approaching a year. Yeah, I mean, it's been a the scope of this project is like so much bigger than our last one, and so it's kind of like, I think a lot of this process has been us navigating that and us trying to like find ways to work on something that has much more of an idea of what it's going to be. Like, Data Mutations was kind of a lot of thought went into it, but it was kind of a bit more we made it up as we went. Actually, it was a project that like literally kept mutating for like forever, and we had to just stop adding to it. Like, as a project, it was very strange, like how it just kind of always was changing. We're always adding to it, and we had to get to a point where we were just like, we need to focus on Utopia now.
And in what state is the project now? What have you done? I was showing right now some screenshots of a bird in a cage. Fede gave me, but I don't really know what it is. Whose game is it? Is it yours?
It's actually it was mine. It's kind of bird-person controller. And, I actually have not any other material like videos and even any builds, unlike probably other AAA members. So I'm really stuck. So, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry if I'm saying.
Maybe we should explain kind of a few things about Utopia before
we
start.
Yes.
About
I guess.
I can start, but like feel free to just interject. So like I think with this project, Data Mutations was it was an anthology. It kind of like with Data Mutations, it was like we all kind of were like kind of just to really quickly explain a part of its process was first we had a phase where we made a bunch of assets. And then the second phase was we all had to make games that used everyone else's assets. So it was like you're seeing the same things reused and it kind of creates like a weird language between all the games. But it was when we released it, we kind of realized that it wasn't like a jam where it was like we were all going to release our entries separately. We kind of realized that they were actually inseparable. Like it was one project. And there was this anthology element to it. And we really wanted with this project to not kind of get to that stage where we kind of bring it all together at the end. We really wanted to make something that was like a cohesive, it's not an anthology. Like it's like everything is like really thought about as like one piece. And I think that like that's something we've kind of always talking about and thinking how we can do that with all these things, because it's still everyone is kind of more or less in charge of like their own kind of entry, but we're always talking about our entries and trying to kind of create relationship between them and like helping each other out with our projects as well. And like you like maybe, I mean, I don't know what you guys think about this, but maybe you'd think of them as like chapters of a book, like they're all kind of like,
but
like this kind of they all kind of are like Utopia project is like all these entries, but I wouldn't really call it an anthology this time.
But technically, you are creating separate games, right?
Technically, like they're different executables that run the different Utopias, but there will be probably some shared resources. So like a text file, for example, full of booleans or strings and stuff that each of the games will reference to know about what's happened in the other Utopias. So for example, in mine, you can travel to other Utopias, but if you've already been to them before, they might not be available to you in my game anymore. Or the NPCs might say something different and comment on a place that you've already been in the past. That's one way that they're more connected, but also like Troy already mentioned, we help each other work on each other's Utopias, and this kind of puts elements from the other Utopias into other people's Utopias. So Matthias's one has this network of different planets that are all rotating around each other, and each one of them is constructed from assets from the other games, kind of like a simulation of each person's Utopia but simplified into like one planet. And in Gabriel's project, he asked other people working on the Utopia project to narrate a utopic ritual that they imagined, and this gets put into his project. So like there are other people's visions and ideas and assets like kind of transposed throughout the different utopias too. So it's like a conceptual mingling, but also this physical connection through this shared kind of variable resource, like the booleans or strings or whatever we decide to do. We haven't actually worked that out.
Also, also each game will launch another one, so you don't like exit and then exit one game and then launch another one yourself. You are kind of like pushed through the game, so it's not. There won't be this menu where you select which game you're going to play. You enter one game from within another.
So there may be a continuous narrative from one utopia to another, in a way.
Fede disappeared from the screen. Fede, are you here?
No, I'm here.
He just hates the idea so much. He just quits.
No, absolutely.
I'm like monitoring the stream on my phone, and like every fucking 10 minutes I get fucking Prime Video advertisement. It's really annoying.
Oh wow.
Fuck you, Bezos.
That's too often.
Yeah, it's super annoying commercial on Twitch. So.
And now, does everyone already has a prototype of the entry?
Yeah, more or less. I think we're all kind of really at a stage now where we want to kind of really push through this and like kind of see it to completion at this stage. I mean, projects are at different stages, but like they're all playable. Like they're like, you know, we are kind of slowly getting there.
Well, we were hoping. Yes, we were hoping you would show us what you can and want to show.
Okay.
So, Troy, will you be the first one to do it?
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna quickly get some concept art. I'll show you first.
Yes. But well, Troy will show it to us by using screen sharing.
I mean, I guess we'll just show our own entries, Chloe and Jessica.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go second after you, Troy. Okay?
Okay. Well,
because I might have to go soon.
Well, you can go first if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then maybe I'll go first. Hang on. Okay. Let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just show you like a kind of a demonstration of the game mechanic in my game. I hope that I didn't just build any new bugs in right now. Taking a little while. Sorry, hang on. I think my computer is slightly breathing heavily.
What a mysterious green creature is on the screen right now.
There it goes.
Okay. I might make it a bit bigger because otherwise you can't see it. Okay. I will also just describe what's going on. So this is the cursor, and the user doesn't exactly know how to interact at first. So I'm just like clicking around right now, nothing's happening. But if the user scrolls, then stuff starts to happen. And then there's also these kind of words which you can interact with, these words in blue, which I guess might take a little while to figure out, but there will be more of them in the final game. So these words, they kind of, you can click them and they unlock these kind of controls in the world which change different things in the game. So this one, for example, like turns an effect on and off. Or This one you can move the object around and it changes something in the world, so it's kind of like a slider. So the way that you kind of navigate through the game is by like clicking these words and changing things in the environment. So it's a bit like hard to see at the moment how it will work because I haven't done that many words yet, but this is the main game mechanic for this scene. Okay. And there is another scene which I might not show you right now because it might be a little bit complicated to show you, but I guess the idea is kind of about like how people can change like how how words can kind of like change the way you see things, and so you can kind of like change, like each word is kind of like a pathway to lots of other possibilities. So that is a slightly awkward explanation of where I'm at right now, but maybe someone else would like to go now.
So cool interface to communicate with this alien creature. Yeah, so it looks amazing.
Cool. I love how the hands are working.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you've changed it, but it really feels like it's touching it now, whereas like I think in previous versions they were like felt a bit stiff and floaty, but now I'm like really believing the little fingers.
Yeah, I still want to improve the animation actually, but I think it's looking better than before.
And I noticed some words on the edges of the screen. Do they change when the player interacts with the game, or do they live their own life, these words, texts?
Yeah, I can just show you again. Hang on. So when I'm scrolling the mouse, I'll just wait for it to start again. So these are kind of like moving along. I just wait for it to start. But yeah, so it's a little bit hard to see in a video because quite a lot of what's happening is happening through the user. So at first, like before the user has clicked anything, like nothing moves. And when they click once, these kind of like start to move very slowly, these texts. And then if you scroll, it changes the speed. You can also go backwards. So you can bring the text back. And then basically any of these words that are blue you can interact with. So when you hover here, it shows you different like synonyms for the word. I don't know if you guys can see the cursor. Can you see the cursor?
I can see the cursor.
Yeah. Okay, good. So when you hover here, it shows you different synonyms, and when you click, then it unlocks this kind of object and different words. Oh, I have to go soon. No, not right now. And so when I've like filled out more words, then the text will change all the time because when you so this word look gets replaced with a different word, and I guess the text will be kind of like transforming all the time, which is a little bit like hard to imagine it. Also, I don't think I think it'll be a bit confusing for the user, and they don't necessarily need to understand everything that's going on in the background. It's also kind of meant to be a bit, I guess, like curious or confusing. Okay, I have to go now.
I think now I'm starting to get how it works.
Sorry to leave early, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
It was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nadia.
Join us today. Yeah, it was so cool.
Nice evening. Oh, she's gone already.
Нас стало меньше.
She's gone. So sadly.
I think sound doesn't disappear now after.
Yeah, I hope so.
Everything changed a bit.
So should I show mine now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
You probably see yourselves, I guess. So So here's some concept art for my game. I'm just going to show you first. So the idea, sorry, one second. Just want to see what it is. So the idea with my game is that it's like you kind of wake up in this world, and you're kind of like, there's a lot of like, AI entities, like, like there's characters, like human characters in the world, and you're one of them. So it's like you're the same kind of thing as all the other AI characters in the game. And when you start, you have this world view, which is on screen. So for example, this is the world view of like a character that might spawn in the game, and it's based on the conditions in which your your group, your like social group, or the environment in which you are born into. So like for example, this text, it says, "I came from the sea, the stars guide me, do not walk freely, I remember an age of plenty, in time we all dissolve." So these are all, the text is also temporary, but like as an example, this means like, "I came from the sea" means you are born in like an ocean. "The stars guide me" means that you looked at the moon once. "Do not walk freely" means maybe you fall off a cliff and took fall damage. So like, so this kind of worldview you have is based on things you can do in the game, but you start with one already, and the game is basically just about unlearning. You start with this kind of concept of what of your identity and of what reality is. Like a lot of these things, like a kind of like that are on screen, are like universal truths, which are just one of many, or like not necessarily the only truth. And when you go around the environment, you will meet other characters who, like yourself, like every character in the game has a worldview, and when you talk to them, what actually happens is it plays yours, and then it plays theirs, and then it plays yours, and it plays theirs. But each time you do that, it's like the words are kind of swapping between them. So it's like the worldviews that you have are kind of like distorting kind of shifting into each other's, and kind of becoming like this if you just did it forever, you would have one worldview that's a combination of both of yours. And for the AI, this controls their this controls how they walk around and like do stuff. Basically, there's like 4 slots that are birth, death, memory, and worship. So, for example, if you worship the water, the AI is always trying to seek places in the environment where water exists. But if they worship like the sun, like they might go to a desert instead. So it's like, so the worldview of AI is actually deciding what the behavior of the AI is. But for the player, because they're a player, they have agency. So it's up to the player whether or not they want to follow through with that. Of course, they could also just stick with their group and not really explore elsewhere. The art style is like this image. It's like you kind of see through. Like the only way you can see anything is through like the characters. So like yeah, that's it actually. That's all.
Like on this screenshot.
Yeah, but the thing that's kind of key about that is like basically in this game, like the duration of the game is your entire life. So basically it's like you live an entire life in like 5 minutes or so. But like the every character, including you, your health is represented by like your silhouette kind of breaking apart. So as an example, here's an early GIF, and you can see the characters dissolving. So this is what's happening to everyone. So it's like as you kind of start to kind of get older, as you become hurt, your literal ability to see anything in the world is kind of becoming more difficult. Of course, you could hang out with more people, or the text also on screen means you can see stuff as well. That's basically it. I mean, like, I guess the final thing is 1 second. The final thing is like this is just another piece of concept art. It's like the world you're seeing is also like the worldview is not just kind of the text on screen, but it's very synesthesia. So like the colors you see and the sounds and all these things are driven by this worldview, which is currently in my game. Like I'm still working on this, but it's like a bit there already. Like for example, there's like certain colors for what you believe birth is, what you believe death is, and the way you perceive the game is kind of like based on those parameters. So like kind of as your worldview is changing, the kind of the literal image on screen is also changing. Like different colors are happening and stuff like that. So now I'll show you just kind of like where it's at, and it's like it's pretty simple at the moment.
It looks great.
Thank you. Let's just wait for the sun to rise because it's nighttime right now. So you can see like these maybe you can see these white dots on the like on the head of the character that are moving around. Can you see those?
Yeah.
Like these. So these are characters.
You can see.
So it's like so as I get closer, you'll be able to see them walking around and stuff. And the environment is also like randomly generated.
So the more people are around you, the more you can see, right?
Yes, correct. So right now, characters like this is the water. But like I haven't got like swimming working yet, so characters just walk on the bottom of the ocean right now. But like, you know, if we get up to this guy, you know, we can see like, you know, here he is and he's walking around. The AI is very simple right now. They just randomly are moving around. I'm working on the AI at the moment. So like hopefully soon you'll be able to talk to them and stuff. And that's basically where this game is at. I'm going to try and get back out of this basin, and you can see a bit more of the environment. So it's nighttime right now. And this rain, which is like, you know, really chunky, is like, it's like debug, like it's like, you know, really, it's not what it's actually going to look like, but
I like how it looks like.
It looks amazing.
Thank you. But like as you can see, the water is actually rising because it's raining. So it's like this game is like you have to find water to survive, and if you're in a drought, you'll have to migrate to like another place. So like, you know, like if we go up here. You know, this is like a desert that you might have to like try and find like another place of water, but like the whole time you're in the desert, it's hurting you. So it's like you know, it's just part of the game that like really you might just not survive a migration at all, like because it's like you might just get unlucky and there's no water and like I kind of wanted just to create an environment which was like quite cruel, but is still utopian somehow.
Maybe I get it wrong, but when I'm looking at this image, it gives me a feeling of some limitations. Like you can see the world, but you can see everything because you have some limits. You're kind of trapped inside of yourself. That's just the feeling I get from it right now.
Yeah, I guess that's a cool reading. Yeah, yeah, I guess that's kind of the idea.
Интересно, как сделано вот сам этот эффект. Тут явно не какая-то плоская картинка, тут есть 3D-модель, и как отсекается вот эта часть, которая черная.
Ты имеешь в виду маска? Julia is wondering of how it was technically done in Unreal Engine, exactly about how was this mask effect was realized.
Yeah, okay, so I spent a long time with a lot of help from other people, actually. Like many people helped me with this effect. This is the first like major project I started in Unreal. I've since been working with Unreal a lot. It's basically the only engine I use now, but like I started Unreal with this project. And that is kind of something I found with Unreal is like, I mean, I don't know how technical we want to go with this talk, but like Unreal is really good at making a realistic first-person shooter, but I think like once you kind of don't want to make something that's like visually realistic, it gets a lot harder than Unity. Like I think Unity is actually easier at that. But basically what I'm doing is to get that effect is I get every character. It sees every single character that's on screen, and every frame it turns one on, and it adds it to a texture at like, you know, maybe 0.1 white, so like very dark gray, and then it turns it off, and then it gets the next character and turns it on and writes it on top so that their overlap is brighter. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you have this gray additive thing, and that was the only way that I could get these intersecting outlines, because like when you see with the characters, let me find some people. One second. Oh my god, it's so far away. Well, when like something that was really hard with Unreal was to get this intersecting outline effect, because because like you might want to see like character that's like behind 5 other characters, and like and they're not being rendered. So like I had to do this thing where I was like just manually turning them on and off like every single frame. I like see this intersection effect, because like, you know, without it, like, because like for a long time I was like, is this game even going to work, because I didn't have the outline. And you can imagine without the outline, if you were looking at this guy, you wouldn't even know he was there. So it's like you need it, like it has to be there for this game to work. And yeah, I just spent forever, like I spent like at least 2 months like getting this effect in the game. And you know, it's like it's like something that no one in Unreal has ever tried to do, because it's not the kind of thing that is made with Unreal. Yeah, so I'm glad it works now.
And before you told, but I'm not sure I got it, you were telling something about these people becoming more similar, merging somehow.
Yes.
And how?
Yeah, so there's the text on screen, which is like the concept art I showed you. That's always going to be there. Like it's not visible in this game right now, but it will be. So imagine like the whole screen. It says your worldview in front of you, like on top of everything. And then when you walk up to this character, it's like a back and forth between their worldview and yours.
Mm-hmm.
And each time it does that, it's like a random chance that one of the things will go into the other person's worldview. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you're passing this thing back and forth, but also copying a little bit of it each time. So if you do it for long enough, you have the same worldview because of just the random chance. But it's going to be like a combination of both of yours.
So I don't know. It sounds like this is a utopia of communication, something like that.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think I guess so. But you can also choose not to talk to anyone. Like, actually, that's kind of like the fifth parameter in the game. There's birth, death, memory, and worship. But the fifth one, what it actually does is it keeps track of if you spend a lot of time with other people or not. And so, like, all the let's go back to, so it's like, it's I came from the sea, the stars guide me. And that's like if you spend a lot of time alone. But if you spend a lot of time with other people, it's like we came from the sea, stars guide us. So it's like even that aspect of it is like changing based on like how, you know, how social you are. So I guess for me, it's really just about unlearning. It's just about like kind of realizing that like your, you know, perception of what reality is malleable and changeable. That's kind of the idea, which I guess makes it actually quite similar to Chloe's. Like, I think me and Chloe's projects share that similarity between them.
Yeah, this is fascinating concept. So amazing. And we have now the question in chat. Olorin68 is wondering, he said that he is probably joined to later, but he asked if this is collaborative project, which way exactly each project is connected to each other.
Не, я думаю, там вопрос не про коннект каждого, а как они для вдохновения друг другу там показывают, на каком этапе у них что есть. Я думаю, это вопрос вот касательно того, что они там стримы ведут, возможно, там в Slack что-то.
Yes, this is more the question about how do you show each other what you have done? Do you share projects or just show screenshots in process of work?
We share a lot of screenshots online, but like I would say like the core thing is actually meeting up. I guess I don't need to share my screen anymore. The core thing is meeting up and actually like talking about it and one second. Meeting up, talking about it, and really just like going over this again and again and again, like just so that we all really understand what everyone's doing, and yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Jessica?
Yeah, like definitely like meeting in real life, and then the ones that can't come in real life, we meet on Skype in someone's living room, and we talk about where our projects are and show builds and stuff. But we also share resources like on a shared cloud drive. So someone might be like, I wrote a bunch of texts you can use in your game, or here's all the meshes from my game or textures. So sometimes people collaborate by sharing stuff that they've just made that other people can use too. We also have like kind of a plan to collaborate, like merge these projects in a way by linking them together. So there's like that technical aspect too.
Yeah, like as an example with that, like when you're playing my game, you know the game ends when you die, and whatever worldview you have when you die, there are certain games related to certain parameters. So, for example, there is a ruin of Jack's game in my game, and if you worship it, then it's going to launch Jack's game next. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of, with all the games, like based on how you play, whether it's a choice or whether it's kind of happening behind the scenes, depends on all the games. Like the next game that's going to be opened is based on that. So there's kind of this like choose your own adventure aspect to this, where it's like, you know, branching places, and you're kind of like each person's playthrough is going to be in a different order.
In mine, it's like a little bit more literal. So there's like a space station that you can visit and look through a telescope, and a scientist there might be like, oh, there's this planet in this like distant quadrant. We can't really tell for sure, but it looks like it has basins of water on it. Maybe there's water, maybe they're empty. Do you want to take a one-way trip there and find out? And then it might send you to Troy's game. Like there'll be a vague kind of like pseudo-scientific description of someone else's utopia, and then you just kind of go there and hope for the best, I guess. I don't know.
And can you show us something, your game or screenshots?
By the way, I have seen Jessica stream yesterday, and she shows a lot of amazing utopic landscapes. It was
Jessica's game's rules.
Yeah.
Don't hype it up. I get embarrassed.
It's so good.
Shut up! I'm doing gray boxing right now, so like a lot of what's in there is a placeholder for something that I'll sculpt later in Blender. So it's just like cubes with some textures on it, and then like the Unity default terrain. But I can like talk through it maybe if you want.
Yeah. Please.
I don't know how to use a computer, honestly. How do I share my screen?
There is an icon like.
It's really easy to use.
It got all weird and Microsofty, and I don't know where anything is. More options. I can turn on subtitles.
You can just type in
share screen. I found it.
Yay!
I found it. I'm a computer genius.
How bad is Skype though? Like like there's like this take snapshot icon. And I thought it was full screen.
Yes, I used it today too. I thought it was share screen, but no.
Oh. It's like they have so much money. Like, what's happening?
It reminds me No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe lots of aesthetics are stolen from games. The trees, I think I'm like kind of copying The Witness, I guess. I researched a lot about how they made the trees in The Witness and Firewatch and stuff, because I don't know anything that I'm doing, so I'm just gonna look at what other people do.
I recognize Merrily Crosshair.
That's
from Data Mutation.
Yeah, Merle made this. This is her crosshair. Oh god, the Unity default footsteps are so bad. It sounds like Minecraft.
Well, we can't hear them actually. I don't think you're sharing sound.
That's really good. Actually, maybe I should start with the document. So the Utopia that I'm making happens on a phase-locked planet, which means it doesn't rotate like Earth does. It kind of stays facing the sun, kind of like how the moon does around the Earth. There's always a light side and a dark side. And there's this hypothetical habitable planet where there's enough atmosphere that there's like a habitable ring between the dark and light sides, which is sometimes called the Goldilocks zone or the Terminator zone. Like after the movie Terminator. Anyway, it's like this planet hypothetically exists. Like when we talk about here on real Earth, not in the game, we talk about potential Earth-like planets, like ones that we could go to in the future that have liquid water and an atmosphere that we can survive on. But, you know, mostly the ones that we found so far are phase-locked like this, around red dwarf stars, not like a yellow sun like we have, but like an orangey, purple, pink colored one. And they're probably water worlds or desert worlds. So they're not like great, you know, like compared to Earth, they kind of suck. So yeah, I kind of like modeled this little habitable zone with like a super hot side on one side and a super cold side on the other. And the game starts where you just kind of like, you're in space, and you're in a spaceship, and you pick up a beacon signal, and it's like, there's a habitable planet here, and your ship starts to auto-navigate there. But then, when you're about to land, your computer gets intercepted, and it's like, reroutes you to land like not in the habitable zone but in the desert instead. So maybe the player's like, oh shit, what's happening? But then you get like pulled underground through like a little subway, and then you pop out in the habitable zone, and then the people that live there like, sorry about that, like the atmosphere is like super thin and you can't land here because it would like burn off the atmosphere and then we'd all die, so we put you over there, but it's like fine, I'm sorry, like come and hang out or whatever. And then you can talk to them, and they'll tell you about the planet, how the ecosystem is really fragile because the fact that the atmosphere exists there at all is an anomaly. It's kind of existing in this valley. If the valley didn't exist, or if the composition of the atmosphere was chemically different, it would just evaporate completely and you wouldn't have a habitable zone at all. So they take a lot of care of it by making sure they don't produce emissions, burn anything, consume too much oxygen, and they're kind of like the custodians there. Like keeping care of it and living there. And while you talk to them, you'll find out that they've been studying neighboring solar systems, and they're like, well, we have some theories about a planet that's not just habitable in a ring, but maybe it rotates because it has a moon. And that would mean that there's like liquid water all over the planet and the whole thing is habitable, and it's not so hostile as this one. But it's just a theory. We've never seen anything like that. We've been in space for millions of years, and this is the only habitable planet we've ever found. It's okay, but, you know, maybe there's other ones. And then they will send you in a space station launch to another planet, which is one of the other utopias, to, like, check it out for them. Like, it'll take 25 million years, but don't worry, we'll put you in stasis. It's fine. You can go for free, even. Just send us some information when you get there, if it's cool or not. So, yeah. If you haven't guessed already, it's like a metaphor for Earth is the utopia, and that there aren't other Earths out there. There are things that are maybe close, but probably pretty crappy, and maybe we should take care of the one that we have instead of looking for something else. But I'm like ham-fisted at this, because I've never written a story before. I'm just a meat hook computer guy who does what my boss tells me to do.
I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be like, I don't think it's ham-fisted at all, actually. Like, I think it's going to be a real, a delicate balance to, like, make the player realize that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, you want them to have that connection in their minds, but, like, I think it's gonna happen for sure. Like, it's an interesting problem. The
story will be delivered through talking to NPCs. They'll tell you about stuff that they've been studying, and they'll describe this planet that they're on and how fragile it is. But they'll also tell you in like an excited way about other possibly habitable planets they've been studying, and like theories about fully rotating Earths. I mean, this is my great NPC right now. It's a beautiful capsule collider. It wants to give you a kiss.
And before NPC was talking in some foreign language, obviously.
Yeah. I think what I'll do is like there'll be these closed caption subtitles where it's like in English, or I'll write it in a way that it can be in other languages too. Like it'll read from a text file. So if I wanted to make like a Japanese version or a Russian version, I would just need to do the translation in a text file.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
But there'll be some like some sounds that sound like kind of alien speaking, like blah, 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 blah. But, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the delivery is all through text, so it's like gotta be pretty dialogue heavy, I guess, like typical walking simulator, I guess. And there'll be some like museum like labs that you can visit. So there'll be like little hologram of like an Earth-like planet that one of the NPCs is studying, and they're like, "Isn't it beautiful?" Like, nobody believes me, but I have a theory that this is possible. And yeah, they'll be like really excited about it. They're like religiously zealous about this, basically. That's all I got. There's some stars.
The sky is amazing.
Thank you.
But you can also see the hot place and the cold place, right, in your game.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, sure.
So like
Wow.
down the middle is like that green strip is like the only part that's habitable. And then there's kind of like these sphere buildings out here. Those are like observation decks where you can safely view the like
and you
glacier
can't
side.
go out. Oh, can.
If you can go out there, but you will die, and then that's it. You're dead. You killed yourself. It'll look great though when you die. It'll be beautiful.
It's good to have options.
Yeah. I mean, I don't wanna say anything. Like, you know, like I had to walk out in the desert and get a really cool view of something that you're not supposed to see, and then die for seeing it. You know. Like, it's really cool out here in the desert. There's like some floating.
Oh, I like
stuff.
how the star
Wow,
is shining.
super.
I can't call it a sun because it's not the sun, but
It's a red dwarf star. Yeah. I'm a huge dork. I like science. But I don't know. Based on that. Yeah, and same deal with the ice side. If you go out there, there'll be like a pretty little ice grotto, but if you go too far, you'll die of exposure.
and
And
can
the
you
NPCs will
also
see
go there and show us?
I mean, there's just some water there right now, but I'm gonna add like some sparkly rocks and stuff. And like they'll be heavily color coded, so the like ice glacier side will be like really blue and purple and dark and stuff, and the desert side will be like really hot red and yellow and blown out, and then the temperate zone, like the area that you can live in, will be like really green and foggy and stuff to like exaggerate the feelings between the towns and the safe area.
Well, everything already is looking beautiful.
Thank you. Alright, that's all I got. I just got aesthetics, you know. I don't know how to write a story or like do cool gameplay. I just know how to put shaders on things that look pretty, so that's what I'm gonna do.
well, that's all you need.
Who needs this story? Stories are dead.
No, but to be honest, I get lots of help from everyone else on the team. Like Merla was just over today, and we're having tea, and she really helped me like talk about like what the motivation of the character is. Do I give my character a story that the player is going to get to them, or are they kind of like a blank slate person with no story? Like, there's a decision I have to make. And do the NPCs have like a relationship with the player character already, and this type of stuff. So she's really helping me make the player character and the NPCs more believable, because she's much better at narratives and stuff like that than I am. So I get like a lot of help from other people. Chloe too, who is just here, she's helped me a bit too. Troy gave me some great feedback too. He read my design document and helped me with some plot stuff and making some decisions about what I'm gonna do with the NPCs. And yeah. So it's good to work with other people when you have strengths and weaknesses.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's great that this teamwork thing works for you.
I tried to get more screenshots of all the other projects, but I only managed to get screenshots of Tristan's game. But would you want to see it?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
How do I
Jessica.
stop
Okay,
doing
cool.
this?
I mean, Jessica, did you want to show anything else, or?
I don't know, like,
Yeah, go for it.
I think I have like another level
Oh.
that,
Mm.
I mean, there's
Other
like an
level.
older one. I named these all terrible things. This one's called like Trying Optimized Terrains version 1, and then there's like For Real Actually Main Scene version 3. Let's see. Oh yeah, so this is an older version that has like some more buildings in it, but I had to redesign it because it was too fucked. I keep starting and then restarting. Like when I showed you the glacier, like grotto area before. It's just the water, but in this version it has like some more sculptures and special effects.
Oh wow.
It'll look more like this when I'm done. And then if you like keep going, you'll die. Just take.
Oh, it's so glittery there.
Yeah.
Ah.
Like super blurry and gross. Oh, there was a scene. Oh, there it goes. Exposure. That's it. I don't know.
Thank you. It was so cool. I really appreciate the aesthetic of your game because I don't even know how to describe it, but you know. It has some fascinating moments in how it looks. I don't even know with maybe I feel the same feelings in terms of aesthetic when I play some Cosmo D games, like probably because I need to I need to formulate it more cleaner, but yeah, it's kind of remind me of this kind
yeah, that's true. Actually, there are kind of similarities. Like it's quite like mysterious and like nighttime kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's so sci-fi looking landscapes. I don't even know how. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. It was so cool.
Thanks. I'm glad you liked it.
So I'll show you Tristan as well. It's just a few images. Progress. You see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god.
Кстати, мы еще должны узнать, лучше ли Unreal, чем Unity.
Julia is asking, is Unreal is better than Unity? I guess it's a number one question.
This is the endlessly controversial topic.
And do you use both engines, Unreal and Unity, at the same time, or you switched from one to another?
I kind of switched to Unreal. There's a lot I like about Unreal. I feel like I'm starting to feel like I kind of preferred C# as opposed to Blueprints. Like Blueprints is really cool, but once stuff starts to get complicated, it's kind of like a real nightmare or something. But like, but I think like
Просто не умеете готовить.
I think like once I want to learn C++ and then maybe Unreal will kind of have the best of both worlds. I don't know. Yeah, I like both. But anyway, so this is Tristan's game. It's great.
Wow.
Выглядит как ночной кошмар.
Julia says it looks like a nightmare.
So it actually looks like
True Utopia.
like kind of boss creatures.
Yeah.
And I would agree that it has some dreamy quality to it. It reminds me of a dream too.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Wow,
I think that's
cool.
I think it's been something that's actually been really cool about
I'm
working
sorry. There's a connection lost.
on. Oh,
Мне тебя слышно.
Oh.
can you hear me? Or
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm here.
I would say that's something I've really enjoyed about working on this project is like seeing kind of like the sequels to everyone's data mutations projects and everyone's like creative voice and visual style. And like with Tristan, for example, like I see a lot of similarities to his last game he did in data mutations. Like you know, like if they you know, it's just funny how we kind of are doing the same things but kind of expanding on them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the idea of Tristan's game, like he knows a lot more about it than me. So what I know is quite simple compared to like the actual idea. But like Tristan's world is like there's like this machine that is creating life, and it's like no single life form in this world is the same species. It's like every single life form is like artificially created, and it's like, you know, so every single creature is like this mutant with no other, you know, with no other species that are the same as it. So it's like, you know, like no one has any kind of like way of sharing some kind of identity with anyone else, because like, you know, everyone is like just a totally different species. And like that's kind of like the utopian aspect, and like and Tristan's just kind of working on all these weird characters now, and the structure of the game is like also like more of like a walking simulator, where it's like it's just about talking to all these creatures and getting to know them. Like in typical Tristan fashion, it's like quite sandboxy, and like you can just kind of wander around this world and do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that the creature on the screenshot has a golden belly.
Yeah.
I think
Nice.
Tristan mentioned that there's like some like hedonistic behaviors that they indulge in now and then there's also like a shipyard where you can decide to leave this place and go somewhere else, I think. And he had an amazing development document. Those are really good.
Well, and screenshots look intriguing.
Yeah.
I'll see if I have anyone else's, like anything from anyone else. Oh, I have some gifts from Jax.
Да, у него там какой-то симулятор жизни.
So there are weird creatures too.
Yeah, so this is a really old screenshot of Jax. Like Jax game looks even better now, but the idea of Jack's game is really funny. It's like it's basically like you're an eco-terrorist, and you're kind of going to these areas that like people are trying to, like these kind of planets and stuff that people are trying to use for development. And the way you sabotage like their plans is you go there and you just have this gun that creates life, and you just kind of blast. Like it's kind of, you're going to these barren wastelands and just kind of creating ecosystems. So, you know, like for example, this robot is like flying around and just like spraying monkeys everywhere so that people can't build anything. So it's kind of like a weird mix of like a arcade shooter with like weird animals and stuff. Like yeah.
So it's an inversion of shooter idea. You don't kill, you create life.
Yeah, exactly. And all the things in the game are like these weird like pre-rendered like Donkey Kong kind of sprites.
Это Сюзанна.
And please show us the GIF with horses again.
Yeah, maybe you can zoom in it a little bit.
Yeah,
Or it's not.
It doesn't let me.
Well, I think it's still possible to see.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
It's so amazing and hilarious, and yeah.
Here's another screenshot from Jack's game.
Like Jack's sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really cool that like Jax is like quite funny. Yeah.
I love the variety in tone and approach to the concept of Utopia. Like Jax is kind of like funny and like a jokey joke thing, but the idea is kind of like interesting concept. Like it could be taken seriously. Like mine's kind of super verbatim or like literal. Like Troy's is poetic and like kind of like not super clear. Like it's a lot. It's really you have to interpret like. It's not like spoon feeding you like mine is. It's like, oh, it's about like human. You have to like think about, is it about human relationships? Is it about how similar or different we are? What if our worldview was literally printed on the screen or something like this? And yeah, Chloe's is like really alien and about thinking about like different ways of interacting with objects and telling stories and stuff. Like they're completely different ways of approaching the subject, and I really enjoy this, and I like that there's a place for humor. Like I laugh so loud when I'm watching Jack's stream because it's so fucking funny. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call yours spoon-fed at all. Like I think what you've done is like you've kind of really created like a science fiction concept, which I think is like actually really interesting. Like, and like I think it's really cool that someone has kind of created a utopia that exists kind of in this like scientific way. Like,
well, you can be my sensitivity reader then and make sure that I actually stick the landing.
And there's also Fede's mysterious bird in a cage.
Yeah.
If you want, I can screen share it by myself and try to contemplate it. I actually has no significant progress in my game, so I have no like videos or even builds. But it's I can really briefly try to explain this shit. 1 second. I need to enable screen sharing.
I'm just getting a drink.
I also have a really old build of Tristan's game, but I want to check with Troy in case Troy already talked to Tristan about it, like if he does or doesn't want me to show it, but I can show one of Tristan's old iterations.
Yeah, it would be cool to see it.
Yeah, the creatures that he sculpted are so cool.
By the way, maybe Troy has some Gabriel screenshots or stuff, or...
Maybe. I wonder if I have Gabriel's game.
You see screen now. So I can show you the short concept of my game. First idea was to make.
Is it a design document?
Yeah. I can full screen it. So my first idea was to make some kind of GPU crypto soldiers, but I reject this idea later. And I switched to second idea, which is actually bird-person controller. I'm not sure if this idea of flying birds in cage is really like my original idea, because maybe I have seen it in some Soviet cartoons, like maybe, but I don't know what exactly. But some of my friends tell me that probably they have seen this implementation of flying birds in cage. But I found it's like interesting of this image of birds in cage, then. Cage is like a symbol of some limitation of freedom, but in the same time, birds in my games can fly in this cage, and this cage is like kind of defend the, kind of make some private space for each other birds, like they are free and not free in the same time, and I have some like short video of it in Instagram.
So nice.
It looks like like
I
just
love that you took it with the video camera on a screen.
Randomly flying birds in cage.
Well, they look happy.
И эти камеры.
Yeah,
Ну да, это же контроллер.
I love Unity gizmos.
I already believe that cages are okay for birds.
Yeah.
That's a really good image.
And there was some couple of screenshots I wanna show. Maybe someday I will stream development process, and yeah, it's like a mixing of my first idea and second idea, but yeah. And so each bird is, in my idea, must represent each other utopia, so it must be interconnected with each other, and you can land with each bird in some nest, and in the first idea it will trigger some separate utopia. So like each bird is avatar from all of you. So
and can you leave the cage?
Yeah, once you have landed in a nest, the cage is disappear. So in theory. So, yeah. And there was a yeah, I just want to I reject this idea, but I can show it as well. It was like my first.
Yeah, you definitely have to use this somehow in the future because it's such a good idea.
And
I was just inspired by
what is the person doing?
Because you know, I have I sign up in some creepy social network which is based on blockchain, and each like in this social network is some amount of their local cryptocurrency, and it was really crypto subscribe.
And what's going on in this image? Is it some kind of computer guy?
Yeah, it's like a GPU soldier. He's mining with his crypto GPU gun. But it was like, I mean, probably I will use it, but somehow, but I don't really understand how to use it currently. So that's why I focused more on third-person controller idea and reject this one. But maybe.
Is the character naked except for rubber boots and a helmet?
Yeah. Because in a future world you don't need any clothes.
But you need a cage.
Глобальное потепление к этому приведет.
Yeah, you just need some virtual liquid body. And
well, Gina says that's because of global warming.
Yeah. Global warming is
well, I mean,
so,
if crypto takes off, yeah, definitely global warming.
So yeah, I think that's all. We can continue to explore my Instagram, but
yeah,
that was the point. So, 1 second. How to disable? Stop sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Я, кстати, тоже пыталась поучаствовать в этом проекте, но... Короче, это, с одной стороны, оказалось слишком сложно, с другой мне надо было делать другие проекты, типа Overseas, там нужно как бы заканчивать и все такое. Поэтому я, видимо, отвалилась от этого процесса.
Yeah. Rita, can you translate?
Yes, Yulia just explained that she was going on to participate in this project too, but then it was difficult, and at the same time she had a lot of other projects to work on, so now she's probably not participating.
But I remember there was intriguing robot dancer system in your game.
Это был первый концепт, и там еще был второй.
It was only the first concept.
Была проблема в том, что, короче, он основывался на мюзикле Hair, ну, вернее, не на самом мюзикле, а там есть такой трек, он называется I Got Life, кажется, или типа того.
The first idea was based on the music Hair, and there was a track probably called I Got Life.
И мне показалось, что он очень хорош для какой-то процедурной там поэзии, потому что он уже как бы такой, ну вот, короче, вот всякую комбинаторику на его основе развести.
And it seemed to Julia that it was good to use this track in some generative poetry, in some games with combinatorics.
Ну и его как бы смысл, ну, короче, он такой коммунистический. И поэтому, и к тому же эта песня очень бодрая. И она рассказывает нам о будущем, в котором, это уже чисто моя интерпретация именно для игры, о будущем, в котором роботы поют эту песню, поскольку они не имеют дома, они не имеют обуви, не имеют денег, не имеют класса, не имеют там юбки или свитера, ни парфюма, ни кровати.
Я уже начинаю забывать начало твоей реплики. And the lyrics of this song are maybe communist, and Julia was going to use it in games. In the game, she imagined robots singing a song about the situation in which they do not have any social class, any skirt,
каких-то предметов, не знаю, обихода. Короче, я просто сейчас скину это в скайпик, там, начало это... Кстати, это, по-моему, переработки Нины Симон. Ну, короче, не суть.
So, and it was performed by Nina Simone.
Like this.
So you...
Проблема... ладно, окей.
So you think it is a utopia? This song describes a utopia? Там утопия описывается?
Ну да, это типа утопия, где будут существовать какие-то механизмы, которые будут совершенны в том смысле, что у них не будет этой всей хероты, которая описана здесь.
So yes, it's a utopia that describes life without anything that is described in the song. And I guess that life is better somehow.
Так, это все перемешано.
Last sentence was not translation, it was my thoughts about it.
I have heard some interpretation of Borg from Star Trek as like Borg society's perfect communistic society. Like each Borg has no like personality. They're like it's too much of topic.
Скажи еще раз.
Что это искусственный интеллект? Ну, основной point, что это типа роботы или там искусственный интеллект.
So the main idea is that they are robots or artificial intelligence.
Короче, в этой идее была одна проблема основная, что через геймплей, там, через какие-то механики вообще никак смысл не подавался. Ну, то есть я вообще не работала с этим. То есть весь концепт, он построен вокруг песни, несмотря на то, что типа это какая-то генеративная поэзия, это не то, чего хотелось типа достичь.
The problem was that the meaning wasn't conveyed through gameplay. It was conveyed through this song, it was like generative poetry, but that wasn't the thing Julia wanted to do.
И все, я забила на это.
And she just dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's good to recognize when something's not, when it's not working, or when an idea isn't interesting to you, or I don't know. There was, I feel like for so long on my game, I've been like, I hate this idea. Like I hate it. So like, but I think I've come so far now that I can't stop. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the main point in like game development is not to burn out during this development. So,
well, but dropping some ideas is okay sometimes.
Actually, in terms of Utopia and Utopias AAA project, I think the first thought that I have about this project was the attempt to make something collaborative in not like, I think it's like one of really important point of AAA team actually is to make something together, but in horizontal system of like responsibility. So without strong hierarchy, and it's kind of utopian. There is some kind of idea of utopia in our development process, so it's make this concept even more like intriguing in this terms. So maybe not even final result is important, but maybe most important is that process of developing this stuff together. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If in Starfleet they developed games, how would they organize the process?
They wouldn't use Unity, that's for sure.
So that's why.
Be careful about talking about Star Trek. Endless monologue or something. Really resisting.
Sorry, what about Star Trek?
Alright, Star Trek has come up a few times now, and I'm really resisting starting this discussion because I'm afraid to impose upon all of you a Star Trek related monologue from me.
Oh, you thought a lot about it.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a fan of TNG and stuff. Some of the other ones too. And it's not like I use it as a model. It's not like I think Star Trek is like perfect or great or anything, but it's kind of like all I got as far as popular culture and like anything close to utopic. Obviously it's got problems, like it's extremely colonial, very white and sexist and kind of campy and bad and poorly written sometimes, but it's got some pretty great moments.
And
I think about.
And have you seen Orville?
Orville?
Yes.
I've heard of it.
It's a new TV show based on Star Trek. It's a parody, but it's I think some values of Star Trek are still there, and somehow it is, in my opinion, it is better and more authentic than the new Star Trek we have now. And at the same time, it's funny. I recommend you to try it.
Yeah, I've heard that from a few people actually, that like Star Trek fans are watching Orville and not the new stuff. Yeah.
The new Star Trek is militant, like
it's so bad.
Or like pro-war propaganda. It's so anti-Star Trek. Like they don't. It's so horrible.
I just watched the pilot and I couldn't eat like the pilot. Like I've never watched something that was like so transparently trying to create drama out of nothing. Like it was like she has to get to this asteroid and oxygen's running out, and it's like this music is like, what is going on? Like, it was so bad.
Maybe too much drama doesn't fit Star Trek at all.
Yeah.
The drama was always about kind of dealing with a human dilemma. Like, what are the moral implications of doing X or something like that? It's not like a really tense close-up on a woman's face while she is suffocating in space and trying to get into an airlock. Like, there's the moral drama, and then there's the, like, whatever that is, weird aesthetics / I don't know, visceral drama.
Probably we shouldn't go into that field because
don't tempt me, Star Trek. We have to change the subjects.
Does IBORG make games?
Было дело.
There was one episode in when we participate in decolonization.
Oh yeah.
We are trying to show it last stream, but there was a terrible frame per second, so I don't even sure that everyone who joined this stream can even understand something. But it was like our first experience to make something together as IBORG team, because our other main activities is just to stream on Twitch and let's play some like art games and make some like exhibition. Like I think that our first exhibition we create with Julia at Electro Museum, and Rita took some lection in this space. I think it was the beginning of like IBORG team.
Well, it began with a manifesto we wrote.
Yeah,
so we share some ideas. Yes, that's the main thing.
Wow.
Yes,
I'd love to see this manifesto.
We also have it in English, not only in Russian.
I can run in screen sharing this IBORG scene with manifesto if you want.
Yeah.
I love a good manifesto.
Yeah, we don't have one. Shit.
And probably we haven't demonstrated it on our streams, or have we? I don't remember.
1 second. I just need to ensure if there is an English version of this manifesto, but I guess there was one.
You can just Google Translate it.
Well, there is an English text, but is it used in this scene?
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess there was. 1 second. IBORG AAA. 1 second. I need to find it.
I think I'm gonna get more wine. Excuse me.
Nice.
Блин, везет людям.
I try to get wine too, actually, but they didn't sell it.
Julia says she's lucky to have some wine. Well, I envy her too. I don't have anything at home.
А домики? Закончились.
Один остался, но жалко открывать. Сервит. You can find the scene, or you can use.
I found the scene, but I forget which button is triggering this manifesto.
Maybe
so,
T?
T?
Нет, W. Если есть такая буква. Потому что я тоже долго искала, но, короче, я так поняла...
It's nice when people can play their own games.
Да, это была отсылка какая-то к симуляторам ходьбы или шутерам, не знаю.
Probably there is the W button because it reminds of walking simulator or shooter. Well, does it work?
It was like a forward button, but fuck, it seems like it doesn't work. 1 second, I just trying to find some other version.
Пиво бы тоже не
I have
помешало.
only one version, and I guess it's.
Do you have a scene?
Yes, I have it. I don't know why you're doing it, but I don't know what language it is in. Let's try it. Sorry, I'm just.
It's okay.
It seems it doesn't work.
But like what are your plans for IBORG? Like do you want to make games for like a Twitch like these kind of like Twitch streaming games, or like what are your plans for IBORG for the future?
Я бы ответила, что у нас планы, короче, они формируются случайными людьми со стороны, которые приглашают нас на мероприятия, выставки и вот это вот все.
Well, our plans are defined by some random people who ask us to participate in some exhibitions, to give some talks and so on. Well, I just realized that this scene is Russian only, but I just can show you the English text of our manifesto. It's really
Actually, we have a website.
Yes, and the website is Russian only too.
Oh wow!
No. It has an English.
Нет, там есть английский.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the
Okay,
website?
I'll open it now.
One second, I just.
I can do it. Yes.
Yeah. Please.
So
I'm actually.
I'll share the screen for you.
I'm actually think that is.
I see it's on the stream.
Well, but
I'm actually
there's some lag.
That we are trying to focus more on our Twitch stream activities, because, and I'm fine. Our last jam experience was grow from the idea to make our stream more interactive, to like make some scene in which each viewers can participate by donation or somehow, or even for free, and adjust some variables on some website, and change the vision in real time. Yeah.
Sorry.
So probably I will just polish this. We will polish this thing we made for Jam, and we'll use it in our upcoming next broadcasts. But I'm not sure if we will make some IBORG games, but maybe we will do. I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, I think the like Twitch idea is brilliant. Like, it's a really cool idea.
Because personally, for myself, I think I have too much activities currently, because I have some personal project. I want to make something for AAA, and I'm not think it's a good idea to make 10 projects in the same time. So probably just focus on the Twitch will be good, especially in terms that probably Let's Player got more attention than actually game developer itself. So probably the conception of making some Twitch account for us was one reason was to just occupy this media field and spread our ideas directly to viewers.
Точно.
So,
yeah, it's a great idea.
Мы оккупировали и то, и другое одинаково. Хорошо.
Yeah.
И то, и другое что?
Ну, и Федя просто сравнивает, что типа стримеры больше внимания получают, чем разработчики игр.
Julie saying that we occupied game development and streaming both successfully. Very successful.
I remember our conversation with Troy in Berlin when we discussed like famous Let's Player like Marky Pillar or who else was
some idiot.
Yeah, because this.
Rude.
I have only one experience with like famous Let's Player who make a Let's Play for Disco Discomfort, and we realized that his video reach more money than I with Disco Discomfort because I have no monetization from my games, and I think Julia too. So yeah.
Did you ever see like with this talk we did at Data Mutations once? I was talking about like there was this Data Mutations video by VG.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the maths was something like he made $800 from 1 hour of playing our game. We made like. Yeah, and we
made negative money making our fucking game.
Yeah. Personally,
it's so inverted that there's a reflection triangle of costs spent to make the game. And the cost triangle's like this.
Yeah.
We should have pop-up messages for streamers in our games. Just being like, buy our game.
We should stream each other's games and make money of each other's streaming each other's games. And
I think. Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say one of us should become a famous streamer and just do the cash cow for everybody. Like.
Yeah.
We engineer the perfect streamer to make us money.
That's also a possibility. Or we all become famous streamers.
I think. Sorry. I think there will be good strategy to just cross-post each other's stream when we on air. Like IBORG can cross-post some AAA streamers. Then the like offline off air, so yeah, we can like has like cross promotional network of.
But I'm not sure that streams in Russian would be interesting to the people who watch the streams.
Yeah, probably.
I don't care. I'm gonna host it anyway.
I mean, I feel like with this stream, the less you understand, the better. It's just like this thing that you just listen to and like. It's like ASMR or something like.
And there are always cute pictures. That's the most important thing.
And I mean, I'm personally far from like blaming some famous Let's Player for they make money from my game, but I just realized that it's like. If they do this, we need to do this too, because it seems like it's more effective strategy for all of us. So yeah.
But I mean, it's an effective strategy because you're able to create a lot of content really fast. And like content has to come from games. You know what I mean? Like where would they be without video games? Like they wouldn't have any content. Like.
If we do this whole thing, if we do the games and the streaming, we're like simulating an entire ecosystem of game making and consumption and exhibition, which is fucking bonkers, actually. That's ridiculous. Like, we become the entire end-to-end system of video games. Yeah, that would just be weird. But maybe good.
Weird is good. So maybe we should.
Нам не пора ли,
somehow finish our stream and say some final words.
Okay. I have something to say. 1 second. Благодарю вас.
Oh.
What did you say?
love you too.
What?
I tried to say thank you. I don't know what I said.
And it was a very polite way to say thank you. Like, maybe official.
Okay.
Can you repeat it again, because it seems like I heard something different, and you say. Please try.
1 second. Благодарю вас.
Yeah.
Вы произношение.
So it means like thank you, or like?
Yeah, it seems like
Okay,
thank you.
Okay.
But in the same time, I just hear it as I love you.
Oh.
You hear what you want to hear.
Yeah.
I love you. I do.
This is so great.
Yeah, Russian is like it was an both side.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really cool that you guys are doing IBORG, because it's like AAA, IBORG. There's also rights. Do you know rights? They're like, a lot of them are Hungarian, but they make really cool games. Like, I don't know, it's just like really cool that all these kind of like these groups are finding each other, and I don't know. Let's play each other's games and get rich.
Yeah.
And also making an art group helps to be recognizable. We immediately felt it when we created IBORG.
Mm-hmm.
People started recognizing it.
Yeah, I think it's how branding is work, because
Yes.
when they work separately, like as Julia, Rita, and me, we have much less like media coverage because media attention. Yeah, because just as we decide to call us as IBORG, we receive a lot of like invitation to some talks, to some like some.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really
Well,
makes sense
not a lot,
to.
but some
Not a lot, but
started happening. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and maybe because IBORG name by itself, it's so like kind of mysterious, like kind of military group that makes some strange stuff, and like there was idea to make like I don't know how it in English, like you know, military
Do
military
it.
splats or
Or
how
some
it's called.
signs you... Well,
Yeah,
like patches, yes. You attach to clothes.
Yeah.
Insignia.
Well, maybe, yes.
Yeah, with like with like
should we make
strong
a AAA
military and IBORG beer with a sacred XYZ axis.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So yeah, it can be like part of some kind of legend which is not exist in real life, but it's somewhere in
Twitch verse.
in virtual digital Russia. I don't know. So
We should make one. I have embroidery sewing machine.
Oh.
yeah,
It makes me want to put an IBORG reference in my game somehow. I'm not sure how I could do it.
We actually have a... how do we call it? An IBORG library. We are going later to share with the world.
Like assets?
Yes,
Or like,
yes, like
Yeah,
assets.
cool.
Probably now there's like one 3D model. One 3D model, one picture, but we are going to add items to this library. So if you want to reference IBORG, we can give you a 3D model of this bear.
Yeah, totally. I'd do that. Yeah.
actually, there is some tricky moment in this beer model because
Не
it's actually.
раскрывай!
Oh, okay. I was up.
I don't know what they're talking about. There's some
Хорошо.
Okay, let's keep secret.
Or
Okay.
is there like some kind of like mathematical message written in like the vertices?
Of course.
Like the manifesto is like the vertices list somehow.
It's actually spyware. I'm gonna start spying.
Yeah.
Actually, mine is spyware.
Actually, did you play some like Metal Gear Solid 5? And maybe you remember some. There was a lot of like mysterious military groups like Foxhound, Cyphers, and so it's kind of remind me like to make like IBORG and AAA formation in this kind of style, like mysterious spy communication between each other group, and make our legendary alive. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, let's do it.
So.
Давай вот это вот ту-ту-ту-ту-ту.
Thank you very much for joining us. It was extremely pleasure for us to see you.
For me too.
To watch your concepts. It was amazing. I hope it will be not last time we stream together. So looking forward for upcoming stream. Subscribe, like.
Кидайте деньги, не забывайте.
Don't forget to donate to AAA and to IBORG. And
you guys need like, because this is the AAA hand sign. So you need like an IBORG one. I don't know what it's gonna be. Like maybe like bear.
Yes, this one.
I think we need to come out with some our fuck. Sorry. Our commoner dance like this one.
Oh yeah.
It's like micro dancing, but dancing. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
And I hope I'm see you in April. Probably I went to Berlin. I really hope.
Oh, okay, cool. What about Rita and Julia? Will you go to MS or?
I don't have money.
I don't have money too, but I try my best to make time to go. Yeah, to steal some.
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye to our viewers.
Okay.
So.
Bye bye.